All right, here we go. All right. So Dan has got to jump off in about 10 minutes or so, but that's okay. So, what we're going to do, you guys, this is all about sharing stories. All right. You guys know following Jesus, it's all about our testimony, our stories. That's what it's all about. So, obviously, I wanted to hear, from a selfish reason, I want to hear Bob's story. So his story means much more than David's story than me to me, and Dan's story and Tim's story and all of that stuff. But
Hey,
we're going to start off with
hey.
uh, these are some of our Life Transformed community members, Bob and David. We are we're Tim coined us a Life Transformed global community. Our whole goal is to help people go from isolation to community, where we believe the next step beyond is freedom. Okay, so we are creating love places and spaces. You don't have to be a follower of Jesus for to be involved in our community, but if you're a teacher within our community, yes, you have to be a follower of Jesus. I'm just giving you an overview, but we are passionate about reaching people, and think of it as all the time outside of church. If you go to formal church, what happens all the time outside of that? Where's your community? Who do you interact with? That's what we're creating, a community of people that are 24/7, uh, in harmony with each other, don't judge each other, and love each other and don't assume, and all of those kind of good things. All right, so that's an overview. We can give you some more detail later, but we call this an alignment call, and alignment is just all about the history of that. Is I went to a conference, much like you're at a conference, Bob, a few years back, and the speaker taught me something. He said, if you have a company or a business or a endeavor or whatever, and you need somebody that's good at sales, well, what do? You try to find the best salesperson. You maybe interview and you do it. He goes, no, 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 that's wrong. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute here. This is very counterintuitive. He said, look, you meet people, and if there's an alignment there, then you just find out what they're passionate about, what they're good at. And then if there's alignment, God will provide the assignment. And it may not be now, it may be a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever. And I thought, brilliant. So he said, every time you meet somebody, just think of this Rolodex you're creating. Oh, David, he's passionate about X. I'm going to put that away. And Bob is passionate about Y, and his dream is this. Boom, boom, boom. And then 6 months from now, oh, wow, I know it's Bob, it's David, it's whatever. So God will provide the assignment. We are just trying to get alignment here. And I've got alignment with David because I've known him forever, and we've served together. I've got stories upon stories with David. He's my man, my man, my man. Um, and David has spoke highly of Bob, so I feel there's going to be alignment. Usually, we don't do these calls if the alignment isn't kind of assumed that it's going to be there. But that's what we're here to do, is just to have that alignment. So, all that being said, why don't we just from our folks, let's just do a quick story update. Your story. If you're going to do you're at a cocktail party or whatever, and what is your story? And Tim or Dan, who wants to start between you two? Dan will go. Okay.
Yep. Hi, Bob. Hi, David. My name's Dan Hinden, and I I have spent most of my life in the church, and one of the things that I have seen over and over again through more than a decade of pastoral ministry is that Christians often approach life and their faith from a place of deficit, from a place where there just isn't enough. And the more and more that I study scripture, the more I get to know Jesus, the more I see and believe that God is a God of abundance, that he has more than enough to give, that he owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. And I'm not approaching this from a prosperity gospel, but I'm recognizing that most of my experience, my response to the prosperity gospel was to embrace a poverty gospel. That if I was going to be holy, then I was going to have to struggle. If I was going to be holy, then I would have to be poor. And there were all these misconceptions that I had. And to be completely honest, I'm still working myself with Jesus out of believing some of those beliefs. But um, I got trained um, as an executive coach, and I started seeing God open up opportunities for me to encourage and connect with and to bless Christian entrepreneurs who God was and is empowering to do big things that require lots of money, and to be abundantly generous, and to prioritize the things that God has for them, the dreams that God has placed in their heart. And I am passionate about helping Christian business owners experience the freedom that God has for them to design their business so that they can spend more time with their family, focused on the things that God has for them, and um, choosing to be abundantly generous with the resources that God has given them. And so that's a short version of who I am and what I'm passionate about. But God is good.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. And Dan is just outside Chicagoland. That's where he is. All right, now Tim.
Well, Robert, thank you. What's the question? What do you want me to say? What's on the floor here?
Just share something profound about you and your journey in life.
There's nothing profound about me. I can guarantee you that. There's absolutely nothing profound about me. Let's see. That is an actual change of thinking. I used to think I was very profound, and grew up under the mistaken notion that what I had to say was very interesting to all people. And then I realized, you know what, it's not. So anyway, that gave me an opportunity to learn more about what the Lord has to say about things, and what the Lord thinks instead of what I think or what I have to say. So I am a person who loves to listen to the Lord talk.
Awesome. Thank you, Tim. I love it. David, what you got, David?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Slightly distracted. My family's cat is extremely needy, and she's been like going to the bathroom like for attention. And then I knew she was trying to do that, and then like she literally like I'm on the call and I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" So I'm really sorry to be if I was disruptive there. But
Did you say
yeah,
literally or literal box?
yeah, I mean, she yeah, she pooped on the floor.
Oh, okay.
And I had to go
That was
take
a
care of that.
joke about litter.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so my name's David Crewman. As Bob mentioned, we've known each other for a handful of years now. I actually helped him move to Asheville. Um, and you know, really connected with him through Relevant Community Church on the greeter team. I think we just each share a passion for people and encouraging, being positive. And in fact, Bob's still kind of my motivation as on the greeter team to just connect with people with positive energy and not just, oh, hi, but like, man, really make people feel seen and feel valued in those interactions and stuff. And so, yeah, I guess in a nutshell for me, that's my passion in the Lord is encouragement. And I try and express that whenever I can. So
awesome. Thank you, David. And he's got an awesome wife, Bree, and two wonderful little girls who are amazing. I'm on the Bible app with Becca, his oldest daughter, and she is just fascinating to watch the stuff she's putting in there and the prayers and stuff. It's been amazing.
Yeah, she's funny. I'm like, Becca, get off the phone. She's like, I'm on the Bible. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're you're making some comment on the YouVersion app, or it's like a social media. She's like, no, it's the Bible. And I'm like, so yeah, it's kind of funny. But yeah, no, she does like really love engaging others through that. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
All right, Bob, you're up. And then any questions either of you guys have for any of us? Anybody have any questions for anybody before Bob goes into his story here a little bit? Okay, you're up, Bob.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for sharing. It's awesome to hear your passions for the Lord and desire to help point more people to Christ. So for me, let's see. God is just doing awesome things and always continue to stretch me and grow my faith. So my background is in data science and artificial intelligence. Worked for Intel and Micron for 10 years there, and then left 7 years ago to do AI consulting work. And I've always had a big heart for making disciples and trying to help the poor. Those are two big things that God has put on my heart. And so that's taken a variety of forms over the years. I think one thing that we're really passionate about here is missional communities and really trying to bring people together to make disciples who make disciples, right? So it's multiplicative and like grows on itself, and trying to figure out how to do that better. And yeah, a long time ago, read some inspiring books just talking about God's call to help the poor and to help stand up for truth and justice all over the world, and helped with a variety of nonprofits. And 2 years ago, kind of felt like I had a feeling, or it's almost 3 years ago now, just had a call to see what else I could do and how I could help more people, and decided to start a business training program in Nigeria, so a little business accelerator. So the idea being is if we can create jobs for people, then they can put food on the table, they can send their kids to school and sponsor their own children. And so we started that in 2020 in Nigeria, just randomly connected with someone. I say randomly as in God's providence, he connected me with someone in Nigeria through Startup Grind. So we hit it off right away, had 20 people sign up for a training program the first day, which was really exciting. And then over that first year, we trained 150 entrepreneurs and learned a lot about the different markets and the different people and the different types of businesses. And then that pitch competition in 2022 with 1,200 people that applied. So got some initial traction, which was great. And then this year, 2023, my wife and I just got back from traveling the world for 7 months. And so we went to 19 different countries all across Europe, Africa, Middle East, and Asia. We spent 3 months in Africa. I got to meet a lot of the entrepreneurs we were working with, get a sense of what their businesses were like on the ground, some of the challenges they face, experience some of the corruption that they face firsthand. Our passports were confiscated in Nigeria and had to wait 5 days to try and get them back, as we were constantly asked to pay bribes to get them back, and we decided not to. Just held our ground and trusted the Lord that He would provide for us, and He did. God showed up, and it was pretty remarkable. And so we just got back home 6 weeks ago to Utah, and now we're kind of getting settled back into the routine of things here, and have a desire to build a network of angel investors that want to help fund these entrepreneurs in Africa, as well as bring mentors alongside them to help them grow and disciple them. And I think one of the big needs we saw was just the corruption, and how do we end the corruption and help change the culture, just one life at a time. So those are, I guess that's the short story. I can dive into more details as desired, but that's kind of what we've been
Oh
up
my
to and
God.
God's been teaching us.
So what inspired how many months did you and your wife travel the world?
It was 7 months. Yeah.
Yeah, what
So
inspired that? I'm curious, what inspired that? And was it your wife that had to convince you or you that convinced her? Or how did that all happen?
yeah. Um, so I feel like maybe the little glimmer of inspiration was we had a couple friends that did it for their honeymoon, actually. So they got married and they traveled the world for a year. And I read Tim Ferriss's book, The 4 Hour Work Week. And so I guess just hearing stories of people that had done it. And then, um, and then at the same time, it was like, well, how do we do this with purpose and really try and help people as we're traveling? And so we kind of married the two ideas. That was like the first chance we had to actually go meet people in person that we were working with in Nigeria. We wanted to go and learn all about the different ecosystems across Africa. And so we went to a conference in Nairobi, had 150 people there from 30 different countries that are all doing something similar, trying to train entrepreneurs and make disciples through business. So we got to meet them, hear their stories, hear what works for them and the challenges they face, which was really helpful. And I got to meet a lot of them as we traveled across Africa. And so, yeah, it's just a desire to see how we could help and make a difference as we travel.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Questions, you guys?
Oh, I got a question. As I understand it, Bob, you knew David, right?
Yes, yeah.
Bob,
David and I.
wait.
Oh,
Robert
which David?
Bolden, you knew David from church
Correct.
in Asheville. So David's in
Oh,
Asheville.
no.
No.
In Nebraska.
So David's in Nebraska.
Yes.
Yeah.
David, you're where? Omaha?
Yeah, Omaha.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So David's in Omaha. And Bob, and then David, you said you helped Robert move to Asheville. Is that what you said?
Yeah. So his dream was always Asheville. So he
Oh,
finally made good on his dream to get to
okay.
Asheville. And so you know, helped him
Okay.
move out there. Yeah.
So when you were greeting, it was in a church in Omaha.
Yep.
Okay. I got that. Okay. Thank you. Now, David, my understanding is you know Bob Davis or knew him, right? Is that
Yeah,
right?
we've been friends since high school. We met high school
Okay.
youth group, and that was in we're both from Colorado, so um, that's where we met originally, and kind of grew up, and we're friends, and then life goes, and got married, and he ended up in Utah. I ended up in Omaha, and that's how it kind of branched out. Yeah.
Okay, so but you kept in touch, obviously, or somewhat.
Oh yeah, Bob's like my best friends. So love the dude to death. So and then we're really good friends with his younger brother and his wife, their family. So we're all one big kind of we're more family than friend.
So, you're a Colorado crew that's spread out all over.
Yeah.
And then David, what do you do in Omaha again?
Oh yeah, sorry. So I work at First National Bank of Omaha. I'm a Scrum Master, so like a project manager essentially in IT.
FNBO, First National Bank of Omaha, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, okay, good. Now I'm starting to put it together. And so Robert was talking to David, and David was talking about Bob, and then that's why you're both here now. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, and I just speaking to you got to come up with a different thing for the names here. Robert Bolden. But just his love, places, spaces, and just your enthusiasm with that. And I was just sharing about Bob Davis and his journey through the world and all this stuff. And he's like, I got to meet this guy. We got to connect. And so
yes.
I was like, all right, well, I was like, that's Robert mentioned this forum. And so that's why I was like, hey, I'll just, so really, Bob, you're you're like show and tell, I guess. I've never joined one of these either. I was just making the connection with you and Robert. So
yeah, cool. Well, the Holy Spirit's connecting all of us. Anyway, Now, Bob, you mentioned Davis now. You mentioned that you're in the AI industry or technology or world.
Yeah.
And is
Yeah.
that what
I've
you
been
do? Is that what you do for a
doing,
living?
yeah. Yeah. I do freelance software development. And so I started back in 2016 and working with different startups here in the Valley. So,
You freelance startup development.
I've been working with different startups. So I do custom software development focused on artificial intelligence.
And are you concerned that artificial intelligence is a threat to the human race?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
Well, what do you want?
That's good.
Well, here, Bob, meet Tim. Tim loves to ask loaded questions.
No, I'm just curious. I mean, we got an AI
Yeah,
guy.
no,
I mean, I read. I don't know anything about AI other than Allen Iverson used to be a point guard for the Philadelphia 76ers. That's the only AI I know about. So,
that's awesome.
but this other one, I've been reading. Some people are concerned that it's the end of the human race, and I just wondered if Bob, shared in that.
Yeah, I'm not concerned, but I think it's something that we do have to, like the Spider-Man quote, something with great power requires great responsibility. So it could
Uh-huh.
be something on the order of like, um, some people might equate it to like nuclear weapons, but I think it's maybe more like, I don't know, fire is like a more age-old thing. Like fire can be destructive, it can burn down buildings, but it can also be used to heat your home. And I think the same is true with AI. You can use it for good or you can use it for bad. And the key is like, how do we make sure that one, we have it properly regulated to hold people accountable and responsible for any actions that are done through the software systems they're building, and then also making sure we keep the very like technology out of the hands that don't need it, um, as best we can to keep it safe for everyone. So it's a powerful tool that can be used to change a lot of things. We just want to make sure we use it for good, not bad.
Well, Peter did say the world's going to end in fire, so I hope it's not the AI fire that
Not
you're
the AI
describing.
fire.
All
Hopefully
right,
not.
thanks.
And looks like I know he had to go. He might have dropped off.
Yeah, he stayed longer than he said he was going to be able
I
to, which is
know.
a testament to Bob and David's ability to keep us interested.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna say for sure, like, dude, I want to connect some more because so many of the things that you were saying, just David knows. I just start have all these ideas coming up, and with your big dream, and looking to set up angel investors and helping people all over the world. Like I said in the beginning, Tim coined us the Life Transform Global Community, and we are all about building these places. Could be physical spaces or could be online, where people can just go, and they know as soon as they enter, they're like, whoa, this is a different space, from the people and the vibe, and and we're showing Jesus to people, and we're doing that. We're not telling them you got to do this. We're just showing them with who we are, and the way we act. So back to my original talking about the alignment call and the purpose of it. That's exactly what I think this has been so helpful. At least I think it has for us, and we'll record this for our other leaders within the community so they can listen to it too. And the way we move forward with these things is each person kind of, wow, takes it in, and then the stuff can start happening. Oh, well, my big dream is this, and Bob and David, and I wonder if, and the collaboration can happen, and the partnerships and all that kind of stuff can start springing from it. So I encourage you to, and David too. I mean, if you're ever in a situation where, a wise person once shared this with me about procrastination, and he said, "All right, procrastination. We all procrastinate. And he said, I want you to just take a pause and think about when you procrastinate. I bet every time at the root of that procrastination was how, that I didn't know how. That was at the root of procrastination. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I like that. And I started thinking back to the times in my life where I procrastinated and just because I didn't know how. So he said, so the key is when you get stuck on the how, don't think about the how, think about the who. Because there's a who out there that knows your how, right? There's a who that knows your how. Just like Bob, when you connected with people in Nigeria and you didn't know anything about the laws and all this stuff. Well, there's who's out there that knew and they could educate you on it, but you took the steps and you found the who. So I want you all that visited today to consider each of us who's for you going forward. And each of us has a network of who's as well. So that's what we're all about. I think that's the kingdom work that we're called to do in community is, as Dan talked about, he's passionate about helping Christian entrepreneurs. So, let's carry this from this Zoom call that we are all who's for each other, and don't hesitate to reach out in any circumstance. Even if you think, I don't know what that crazy Tim, with his questions and stuff, I don't know who he may know, but he may know something about this topic. He's pretty wise. Don't tell him I told you this, right? But he's pretty wise. He's got a lot of wisdom about him, and he's got some experience. He used to have a full head of hair like me, but it's all that experience and wisdom that's taking it all away.
It's all on my back now.
Well, that's kind of my summary of this. Anybody else thoughts?
David, how do you pronounce your last name?
Crewman, like a crewman on a ship, if you think of it that way.
Perfect. Yeah, crewman. Got it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing, Bob, and sharing the vision. I love your desire to connect people and help one another. Have you heard of the Faith-Driven Entrepreneur Group or movement? It's another network of Christian entrepreneurs all around the globe. But it's an amazing community. They have like over 5,000 people or so are involved in various groups. And
Really?
I was on Henry Kaestner is the one that founded it. He founded Sovereign's Capital, and it's just a great group of people. And this morning we had like a little celebration call because last week was a big conference they had. It was like a watch party that they did virtually. And so, it was awesome. There's like people from probably 30 different countries or so on the call. Yeah, it was a pretty amazing group. But yeah, it's just faith-drivenentrepreneur.org, and they have like a podcast, and they have a lot of content you can check out. And they have community groups, I guess. And my point being is I think those community groups kind of just fit right along with this the vision that you're sharing here, just helping people connect and serve one another and build those relationships.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you for that. Faith-drivenentrepreneurs.org.
Yep. And it might just be no S. Yeah, Faith-Driven Entrepreneur.
I see that I know Bob Davis. Do I get some kind of special perk or something?
No. I'm not that well known in the community. I wish. So. But yeah, it's a nonprofit. They just do it all for free. So it's pretty incredible.
Oh, I love it. Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
But thanks for hosting, and Tim, nice meeting you as well. And Robert.
Bob, so good seeing you, bud.
You too, my man. We'll connect soon.
Yeah. And Robert. Bob and Robert. And Tim, nice meeting you.
You bet, David. Yeah, let's get together. Omaha isn't that far from Lincoln. We can meet somewhere in Gretna or somewhere.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Bob, send our credentials. We'll get.
Oh, yeah. I'll get you. I'll get you to
that. Sounds good. That sounds good. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Cool, man.
All right. See you, Robert. See you guys later.
Talk to you guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
All right. See ya.